Okay, I'm here in full mind and body. Yep. It's July 24. Let's calm down, Epidemic Sound Instrumental, to a dull roar so I can hear myself think. I can string along a bunch of idiomatic expressions, as my mother used to call them. My mother was a linguist. Can you believe it? A language expert. A smart one she was. Fluent in at least 4 languages, including English, Latin. How about that for Spanish, French, and Russian. Of course, my father was of Russian descent. And here we are on Thursday morning, July 24. Broadcasting downtown Boca Raton. Yes, we are. I'm on the 8th floor of the Royal Palm Plaza, directly above Chops. If any of you people know where Chops is, it's on the northeast corner of Royal Palm Plaza. And I am 8 stories above Chops. Exactly. And I have this little studioette. I created that word yesterday. It's a studio in the petite size, because I just have this little, I got equipment here. I got a Rodecaster Pro, my soundboard. You can see the very top of it right here, and some of these dials, which can headphone volume, the headphone output, and then I have sliders here, which you can't see. They're right below. I'm sneaking up on this. Yeah, there's a panel that's kind of. Let's see if I can just bend this down for a minute. Ooh, they're right there. You can just see the edges of these sliders. Up and down and up and down. Just leave it right there. Got the microphone there. We're just going to slide this back up. Right about there. Right about there. There we go. So we can see the time right here. According to the National Bureau of Standards, it's 9:09:35. 9:09:40. Yeah. There is a confirming clock down here, slightly it's out of view. Yeah. The temperature is 69.1 degrees in here, living up to studio reputation of always being cold. But I have 4 layers of stuff on here, so I am not going to get cold. I'll zip that up a little bit. Yeah. I changed everything. I changed my underwear. I changed my pants. I changed my undershirt, my secondary undershirt, my shirt, and my overshirt. Something like that. There are 4 layers. So, as long as I don't slobber all over the outside thing that Robin got me from something yard. It's got a little, what do you call it? sea animal on there. And it's nice long sleeve. See, and then I have a long sleeve secondary. It's like a t-shirt, except it's long sleeve. So I have a t-shirt and then this black one on top of that. And then I have a shirt on top of that. And then I have the overshirt on top of that. So I got 4 layers of stuff here. So it's 69.1. I am in good shape. My hands are freezing. But everything else is in good shape. I guess I could pull this over like that. Can I do that? I could do that like I'm up in the Yukon or something. Yeah, my hands are not that cold. Cold hands, warm heart. My cardiologist says I'm good until 94. And then after that, you're on your own. Okay. To figure out what that means. What do you mean on your own? Yeah. How's my watch doing? My Apple Watch. Oh, look at that. I got my picture. Yes, cycling through photographs. State of charge is 41%. Okay. Let's. Yeah, I added a couple of watch faces. Yeah, this is one of the planet. Looks like planet Earth. Partly cloudy at 84 degrees. Okay. My patio is 85.8, and it is 75% relative humidity. So it's a bit toasty out there, but it is not toasty in here. You can see over in if you have visual thing going on here, this is high definition video. It should look pretty good to you all. Let's go full screen, producers. There are 3 people that are helping produce this broadcast. Me, myself, and I. We're all embodied in on this. See, now you can see the top of this. There's an American flag up here. Yeah, I got an American flag covering up the back end of that. My soundboard. Which is just controlling 2 sounds other than this channel 6, which gives me weird sounds. Yeah, get rid of those guys. Yeah. Yeah, I used to have this as my opening. I don't know if you remember that, my early years of broadcast. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good, right? That was like the beginning 15 or 20 seconds. And then I go away. Okay, let's go. Oh, sorry about that. That was Marilyn's iPad. It started ringing. I just canceled it. All right, let's see what's going on in the world of, oh my God. This is what's going on right here. Can we add, there we go. No. You added the wrong one. Get rid of that one. We you want this one? There we go. Because we want to show this. And we got to turn down that epidemic a little bit. Turn it down, yeah. There we go. Right about that level. Yeah, so I can hear myself think. Whatever that means. Another one of those idiomatic expressions. So look at this. This is a big deal because on December, write this date down, because on December 8th, the Obama administration was saying, yeah, there was no Russia, this was no, and then all of a sudden on December 9, so for the prior, years, Russia meddling just meant that they were just trying to create chaos in our voting system. They didn't really give a crap on who got elected, because they didn't really have a, there is certain things with the Russian language that don't translate very well. And apparently it's politics. Because, these lawyers are what I call wordsmiths. Yes, they are. They're very careful with the exact use of words, the exact placement of commas in a sentence. So you have to really think about everything that someone says. Some people say things intentionally ambiguous, and sometimes it is exactly, they mean just right down to the smidgen. Yeah. With precision. To alliterate a little bit. But right here, I'm shaking the picture because it's like Earth. So, Tulsi Gabbard, the director of the National Intelligence, aka DNI. If you're wondering what the DNI means, the Director of National Intelligence. So that person manages a department with a staff that brings in all the intelligence from all the little intelligence officers. I don't know exactly the superstructure of the DNI. We can do a family tree of that. We get maybe but not now. Anyway, Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. She was in the armed services. She, I believe, was a House of Representatives member. She was in the House of Representatives, I believe, representing the state of Hawaii. Yes. She is Native American, Hawaiian Native American. My wife is Native American, but she's the Oneida tribe of New York that migrated to Wisconsin. Yeah, how about that? Bet you didn't know that, huh? Or you forgot. Anyway, Tulsi Gabbard is she is the Director of National Intelligence, and she declassified a bunch of stuff, hundreds and hundreds of pages of stuff that was buried deep in the swamp of the deep state. Yeah. So she declassified these documents. I imagine there was a telephone call to the White House saying, sir, I found all this stuff that's classified, and this is the topic. I like to declassify it. Looks okay to you? Looks okay to me. So she declassified hundreds and hundreds of pages of stuff that was private meetings, in the Obama administration. That's why his picture is right there. Oh, yeah. They're going to start needling him, apparently. Yeah, they got after Trump in a big way. And I think Trump is going to not get even, but just get in their hair. They're going to, maybe they'll show up with a bunch of FBI guys with rifles loaded, barrel down. But, when you got a bunch of guys with their hands, basically on the grip, and the finger is, straight instead of on the trigger. That's not where you want to be. And they had 26 of them that raided Trump's house because he had moving boxes that they decided were, top secret boxes. Well, they probably are. But because of the Presidential Records Act, he's entitled to have everything that was in his quarters, in the Oval Office, in his desk drawers, and so forth. There's not a bunch of file cabinets, in the Oval Office. But he has a couple of desk drawers, and he has, at times, he has stuff piled all over the top of his desk. Anyway, so when he moved out, another thing about these presidents, if you will, one thing about presidents, not these presidents, but just the one thing about presidents, when they are superseded by the next president that gets elected, and he gets unelected, the GSA, there's another 3 letters of the alphabet, the General Services Administration. The GSA comes in there and packs up every damn thing. They come in with boxes, they got tape, they got, all the little foamy womies, and, and everything goes. If you got a ham sandwich laying on the desk, whoosh, it gets packed. They don't decide what to pack. It's just everything that's in that room whoosh, ends up in a box. It gets sealed with special GSA tape, of course. And then the boxes get stacked, out back of the White House. I don't know which is the back and which is the front, actually. But, out of public view from the cameras. And it awaits a special truck. And of course, the living quarters gets packed same way. GSA goes through there. They get in the underwear drawer. They get this drawer, that drawer. They pack all the shoes. They pack under my pants, undershirts, shoulder my pads, every damn thing. Everything gets in a box. Yeah. And those get sealed with special GSA tape. Remember, this is the General Services Administration. They come in there like locusts through Homer, and they get it. And then after that, everything is moved out. Then you have other people that go in there with Windex, and they rub down everything and get rid of all the dust, and they wax the floors. And so when the new lovely couple, the new president and the new first lady, moves into the White House, it looks like it's a brand new White House because everything is gone, everything is dusted. And that's what happens. So all that stuff went downstairs, if you will. I don't, underneath Mar-a-Lago is a level that's underneath the ground level, and we will call that downstairs. It's a finished area, and they stacked all the boxes in there because, the first lady or the president or the staffs of the Mar-a-Lago. Remember, this is armed with the Secret Service, and because there's a Secret Service detail protecting the president. One day he's president, and the next day he's former president. But he still gets Secret Service detail. Now maybe he gets a few. Maybe he has the detail shrinks a little bit since you're an ex-president. We don't need 2 extra Secret Service guys watching the nuclear briefcase. There is a briefcase that can launch stuff back and forth, I think, I don't understand, but I think you can do that in case the, whatever the, like the SAC command base in Tampa, gets disconnected from the rest of the world because of some kind of a, invasion. We'll just call it an invasion of privacy. And the SAC has been sacked. So now we have all our weaponry and so forth, and no one to command it. So who would do it? The commander-in-chief. Well, he has a briefcase that can access, all, the nation's hardware that could be used in defense of ourselves, including the Gold Dome, which is yet to be erected, but I'm sure they're working on, like crazy. I just say, it got funded, and you can be sure the Gold Dome, whatever it is, hope it's laser instead of these stupid missile rocket thingies, because the laser beam just go and it's done. And they really, and I'm sure they have a lot of those laser cannons, probably stacked up in boxes, in a special warehouse.